Hey there, it's Asher from Conscious Creators. Today I am continuing to move through a set of shifts within my thinking, within my mind, within my heart, within my soul. I've been really focusing on the meditative mantras that are outlined in the Conscious Creators process, and really putting a lot of energy into practicing them on a daily basis and having faith in its process to cultivate within me a new perspective, that I can now tap into a perspective greater than my learned doubts and fears. And what I mean by that is, things happened when I was a child, and I made decisions in response to those occurrences. And I came out of certain moments with specific ideas about myself and about the world. And those ideas were basically just decisions made by a small child, yet I became very attached to them, and they became my identity. They became who I was. To such an extent that if someone tried to disprove that or show me something contrary to what I had accepted, I would fight them. I would hurt them. I would push them away. I would confuse them. I would alienate them. And then I would set forth on my path, and continuously recreating situations of abandonment, of neglect, of loss. And I did a lot of things to try to shift that around on the outside world. I took classes, I didn't take classes, I moved to this city, I stayed in this city. I would try a relationship, I didn't do a relationship. I tried doing drugs and different things to change the way my thought patterns were. I thought a lot of success and a lot of external recognition would give me a new mindset, a new perspective, an ability to see myself as worthy and whole. Anything external that I did always had a shelf life, and it never, ever, ever did anything but prolong the inevitable, which was me once again arriving at a place within my mind, within my thinking, within my heart, where I knew without a fact that specific things were not possible for me. My core beliefs are shaped on an identity that says that I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable, and I'm incapable. And no matter what I did on the external, in the outer world, to try to disprove those beliefs or hide those beliefs and look really important or seem super successful, it didn't matter. Everything I was doing was motivated by what I believed. Oh, I dropped my little phone. Even that right there would have freaked me out in the past. I would have been like, oh my God, my phone broke. This video is not going to be perfect. I just need to connect with you guys. There's something going on with me in my heart. Like I said at the beginning of the video, I've been spending the majority of the last 2 days crying and sneezing. I don't know what the deal is with sneezing and crying, but there's a close connection, because a lot of emotions have been coming up. I've been becoming emotionally available to my life, to my experiences, in a way that I haven't been for a very, 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 very long time. And it's super duper intense, and I'm super vulnerable. And energies that used to just kind of bounce off me or roll off my back. I had an encounter with someone yesterday, and it created a very, it like activated old trauma patterns in my brain. I went into a state of dissociation and shock, and I had to call a few people, and I cried about it, and I didn't understand, and I was confused, and it was just because some person was screaming at me. And in the past, I don't know necessarily if I would have cried and had a human response. I would have tried to hurt them back, I would have ran them over, or I would have just gone and done drugs and hid. And these new responses I'm having to life are giving me hope, because in the past, it's like a person who was released from prison. And if anyone who's watching this who has been on parole or has been on probation, especially federal probation, it's fucked up. And the way that they work is they'll put you on a 3 or 5 year supervised release. And if it's a drug related crime in the federal system like it was with me, well, they're going to test you. And I was pretty deep in my addiction by the time I got out of jail, and I wasn't able to pass those piss tests, and I wasn't able to abide by the rules they were expecting me to follow for whatever reason. And what that left me with was a sense of hopelessness. Like, it does not matter what I do in life, I am going to end up messing up. My probation officer is going to end up violating me. I'm going to be sent back to the judge, and I'm just going to go back to jail again. So why even try? I already know how this is going to end. It breaks my heart every time that I build something up, and then I pull the rug out from underneath it, and then it's taken away from me. Well, I think it's taken away from me. I kind of threw it away. And that's kind of what would happen inside my mind. I'm not on supervised release. I'm not on parole or probation. But I've watched my mind pull the rug out from underneath really potentially amazing relationships, creative partnerships, creative projects. Really amazing opportunities were given to me in a space of openness and receptivity. I had been in places in my life where I was very open to co-creating with creative consciousness, God, whatever you want to call it. And I had been given some gifts. And then something came along and it would trigger me, whether it was the potential of a beautiful relationship with someone who was emotionally available, or it was too much success, too much recognition, things that normal people would be like, great, wow, I finally arrived. Like, I'm successful and important and this person loves me. But when you have an identity that's based on the belief that you're incapable, you're unlovable, and you're unworthy, those things actually appear as threats. And so I confused a lot of people by having to insanely protect myself from too much success, too much creative recognition, or too much love from others, because I, at my base, believed that I couldn't accept or was not capable of receiving those things from the universe. And after you blow up your life a couple of times, you just slip into a state of apathy and depression, and you don't really want to try. You don't bring your heart forward. You don't really even allow yourself to have genuine desire. And there's nothing wrong with desire. We're here on earth to have desires. But when those desires do not seem possible on any level to come true or to become actualized, we actually start flogging ourselves with those desires, and they turn into addictions and fetishes and obsessions and all this other stuff that's not really something that just moves and inspires us and evolves our consciousness. And I know without a shadow of a doubt the reason why I'm here on this planet right now is to evolve and expand my own consciousness. And when I say consciousness, I don't mean my self-consciousness, like my name is Asher Gray and I wear size 32 pants, and I like this and I don't like that, and I like to dye my hair green, and I love punk rock. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the consciousness of my being, which is connected to this God consciousness. There's a consciousness in every atom that comprises me, as well as the world that I'm a part of. And there's an intelligence within that atom. And that intelligence is within me, and it's within my own consciousness. And the more that I can work with that creative intelligence and become aligned with it and demonstrate its power and effectiveness through my words and actions, the more my own consciousness, the consciousness of my being, will evolve and expand, and I'll become a different person. A different person. I'm no longer trying to change anything. All I'm doing on a daily basis is actively participating in my own evolution. That's different than starting smoking, stopping smoking, getting a girlfriend, not getting a girlfriend, having a kid, not having a kid. There's nothing external that has ever given me a lasting sense of joy. And the only thing that I have found to work has been this process that I've been developing with creative consciousness, with God consciousness for the last half year. So, on a daily basis, what I do with the possibility mantras, the alignment mantras, and the fulfillment mantras is create new neural pathways in my brain that are telling my mind on a daily basis, number one, what's possible for me, where I want to put my faculty of concentration. Whatever I concentrate on will become God-given. So wherever I put my faculty of concentration, that becomes given to me by God. So if I'm concentrating on what's not happening or what I don't want to happen, well, here it is. There's that thing I don't want. And so I need to retrain my brain to actually consider what it truly desires. What do I desire as a living being? What do I desire to experience? Is that possible for me? And over time, I start to accept these possibilities and I start to create the neural pathways that support these possibilities. And then next, I start to tell myself I'm capable and I'm worthy of experiencing these specific things. And over time, what that does is it allows me consistent access to a greater conscious perspective. It allows me to see myself and my moments and the people I share them with through a new set of eyes. And over time, what that does is creates a new neural pathway that kind of overrides that self-defeating identity that I formulated in those moments of trauma when I was a child. So I just wanted to give you a little bit more of, so it's all about organizing and bringing peace to the mind. There's the phone that's telling me it's time to go. But yeah, it's organizing this, not this. Once I organize this, the rest follows. That's all I got. Thank you.